Globally, brewers are warning of multi-billion-dollar declines. Welcome back to Brewbots and Barbells, where we lift pints and weights. I'm Bennett, and today we're covering a new series I'm calling Tapped In, where I cover news and topics in the craft beer industry. Beer sales are dropping. In fact, America is drinking less beer than ever before. And it's not just a blip. From shifting health trends to a new generation of drinkers choosing other options, the beer industry is facing one of the biggest shakeups in decades. So, what's really going on? And what does this mean for craft breweries, big beer, and drinkers like us? Well, let me break it down. Let's start with the numbers behind the decline. Only 54% of U.S. adults drink alcohol in 2025, the lowest since the 1930s. Beer's share of preference has fallen from 47% in the 1990s to 36% today. The younger generation, ages 18 to 34, are cutting back fast, down nearly 10% since 2023. And for the first time ever, spirits have overtaken beer in market share. There's a huge flip in health perception now. 53% of Americans now say even moderate drinking is unhealthy, which is a huge shift from just even a decade ago. But also, because of that, frequency is down too. Only 24% of drinkers had a drink in the past 24 hours, the lowest since 1984. I can't say the same for me because of what I do. So let's talk about why the drop, okay? Health and wellness. You got sober curious movements. You got non-alcoholic beers that have now made a huge uptick with not just their production, but like their flavoring and everything. Like, they're making very good options, and mocktails are gaining ground as well. The economics, which everyone feels, inflation and rising beer prices push people to not only cut back but switch to those cheaper domestic options. We all know. Convenience. You got canned cocktails and seltzers that are so easy to grab and go at bottle shops and gas stations. There's also a generational shift. Gen Z prefers moderation, experience, and wellness over binge drinking. And market saturation. There are so many breweries with similar offerings and few that stand out with their stories, their beer lineup, and their connection to the community. So, how is craft beer feeling it from a brewery's perspective? Okay, U.S. craft beer production has dropped a roughly 4 to 5% in 2024 and 2025. So we're in a downtick. For the first time in 20 years, more breweries have closed than opened, which is where Brewbots and Barbells came from. You know, the want to keep them guys open and getting eyes on them and foot traffic in the door. Distribution-heavy breweries are struggling the most, while taproom-first models have been shown resilience. And big beer isn't safe either. Bud Light's sales crash shows how vulnerable legacy brands are. What breweries can do? So they could diversify offerings. So they could offer non-alcoholic beers, whether they make them or offer guest taps of them. You got hop waters, which can be also brewed in-house, or collaborations with those companies as well. Since the uptick is there on those, you can find a way to bring them in-house as well. Focus on experience. Taproom nights, beer education, live events. I know guys that are putting on events at breweries now with beer education. Huge shout out to those guys for doing that, because you're creating a venue for people to come. You're not just a place to get beer, you're actually a venue as well to share those memories with. And what I think is really missing is leaning into storytelling. Here's my take, okay? Just hear me out. The storytelling is missing. People don't just want to buy a beer much anymore. They want to know who brewed it and why. Loyalty is built on purpose. So if your community knows your story, they're way more likely to stick by you. Like, you can see the regulars, you don't really have to try hard to keep. It's the new people that you have to convince to bring in-house. and retain. That's the hard part. And so that's where storytelling comes in. But this isn't just beer that's feeling it. Spirits and wines are slipping as well. The non-alcoholic category is absolutely booming. They're up 22% year to date, especially among millennials and Gen Z, which are your new age drinkers. Globally, brewers are warning of multi-billion dollar declines. But why does it matter to you? For craft beer fans, this is a wake-up call, not a death sentence. Experiences, stories, and community are beating shelf space. Local breweries that adapt will survive and maybe even thrive. I personally want to work with as many breweries as I can to get their name out and work with them and help market their stuff. That's going to be a big push going forward. Is there are a bunch of companies that they make phenomenal beer, but they don't know how to connect to their audience. If you'd like some assistance with that or any kind of advice, I'd love to help and work with you. Let me know, DM me, hit me up. I would love to talk to you. I'm constantly looking and evaluating analytics and the trends and everything to see what's coming before it comes. I train alone often, but after a lift, nothing hits like a local craft beer with a story behind it. And that's why I decided to launch this new series, Tapped In, to share these stories, the news, and the truth behind craft beer. And I do believe beer deserves a voice. Do you see breweries in your area adapting or struggling? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's continue that conversation. And if you want more deep dives like this, hit subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going. Every little bit helps. I truly appreciate y'all for coming by and checking me out. And until next time, guys, I'm Bennett with Brew Pods and Barbells. Cheers.